after it. Hey guys, Mike Taylor, aka Battleship Cobra here, and today I want to cover SAP Business One 9.3. Yeah. I don't know, you guys seem to like the screaming and funny noises, so I figure it's fun for me too. It makes editing a little bit more interesting. And it's sure better than a screen cap PowerPoint. Super boring. Thank you guys so much for following me. Thanks everyone who's bought my course. If you don't know, go to battleshipcobra.com or supportme.battleshipcobra.com. I have a Crystal Reports for SAP Business One course. It's not very expensive. If you please don't discount it, just go through my link from the website, and if you go through an affiliate link, I get like $1, $2. I mean, it's just, you know, a little thing to help me and say thank you for the videos in the course. I bet you wish this was a green screen video, but it's so much work to do those videos. I gotta put the thing up. So today I'm gonna go through the highlight PDF from the 9.3 What's New document, and I'm gonna give you my top picks from what I've seen, and we're gonna go through kind of some of those, and I'm gonna talk a little bit of context about them and give you the preview. I'll also have the link in the description for this PDF, so let's jump right into it now. I work for an awesome company called Forgestic, and this was the PowerPoint. We do kind of bi-weekly coffee break webinars, so I'm basically just gonna kind of copy the agenda that I had done in that video. So if you're a customer, just sign up. You can email me directly, and we'll get you on the list, and we do them bi-weekly. We have an agenda laid out for 2018. So these are all of the things that are in SAP Business One 9.3. I mean, the thing is, this is not gonna be 100% coverage, what I'm gonna do today, because every single one, it would take really long to do it. So look in the description below and you can get the PDF. The PDF has some generic details. If you have more specific questions, you can ask me. I do have 9.3 now on my machine, so that's really cool. Right now it's in ramp up, which means that you can be nominated to do the 9.3 ramp up scenario. We can nominate you, but you need to have, you know, maybe a lower user count, like maybe less than 10, and also not too many add-ons, and the more simplified your system setup is, the more likely you're going to get nominated for ramp up. So it's estimated Q2 2018 or spring. They're testing right now, so you know, it's not, we don't have an exact date, so whenever they kind of iron out the details. This is I have 9.3 PL1, and so I'm assuming they're not going to go live with PL1. I think with 9.2 it was PL2. PL2, PL3 were a little sketchy, and then PL4 was you know, quite a bit more tuned up. So again, if you're a larger, more complicated company, enterprise, wait till that. So you know, we will let you know as it becomes really readily available. Right now, it seemed great. Like, I've used it in the demo system, and it installed everything fine. I haven't seen any sort of weird errors. So that's my feedback for now. Okay, so yeah, here you go. All these things, I'm not gonna even read these. You could look at the PDF yourself. Highlight 2, so you have some stuff for HANA, some stuff for SQL. Most of it is for SQL. Obviously the analytics portal and stuff, they have some of the fancy data or fancy dashboarding stuff the HANA guys do. And but you could always get B1 Up, and I think that's a really good dashboard too. So check out my B1 Up video. So my choices here are going to be these ones, and honestly, I kind of rank them in like kind of you know, these are ones I like, but then you have the ones ranked from, I don't want to say least excited, but you know, basic excitement all the way up to most excited for. So let's jump right into it. I'm not going to read them. Authorization Simplification. So this is user groups. Previously it was a little annoying to manage users. It kind of was, you know, you had to go to authorizations and you had to do the authorizations separately. Then you had to do the form settings separately. Now you can set form settings by the user group, and it's a little bit easier. It's centralized into a single point there. So you can see that is a nice little improvement. So it's easier to manage your users. And they also have made temporary authorizations that like expire. I don't know how useful that's going to be, but maybe you have an intern that's only active from X date to Y date, and it will do, maybe be useful again for that type of scenario. My setting support. So this is neat because now the users can set some of their own settings, whereas before a super user would have to set it centrally. And it just didn't make sense. You'd have to go and log into administration, system initialization, general settings, and those tabs and services tab and stuff. And these ones, and this can be done by the end user. So resetting your setting your password and everything. So this stuff's good, but I think the biggest thing is the services tab. So this is also in the My Settings area. So, things like displaying the recurring postings and these various things, and also individual user control over the over the enter key and having that automatically turn into a tab. I mean, how many people have had to have renamed business partners or items accidentally, pushed enter, or they've added a document when they really just wanted to go to the next field. So that makes it easier for them. Shout out to Jocko Willink. Get after it. Jocko Willink, Jocko Podcast. I'm a big supporter. One of my favorite podcasts. Check them out. It's really cool. Approval procedure enhancements. If you ever use the approval procedures, you know that they're a touch rigid, we'll say. And now it gives you a couple more options there. So you can update documents that have been added or updated from the approval process. So you can change them once they've been added from the approval process. You can then still modify them. And this is very useful because you can have it go through the process and then edit things. And if it re-hits the same criteria, it's going to go back into the same approval procedure, but previously you couldn't even edit them. And secondly, you can update draft and status pending documents too. So that's really cool. If the document is waiting to be approved, you can still edit it before it gets approved. And those two things would be really nice. Changelog cleanup utility. This honestly, I don't see this being something that increases your day-to-day speed per se, but stripping out any data from the database that you just don't need will be easier to manage the database and the backup. So it'll shrink the size of the database. You can just remove some old stuff. We have some users that are many years of data, and you just don't need some of this old data in the changelog. So just like the data archive wizard, you can use the changelog cleanup utility and just strip out some of that information, because every sales order could be stored 15 versions of it, etc. So you can clean that out. Centralized CRM module. It just makes more sense. The wording of opportunities. They're still going to keep the opportunities section, but the CRM section I think will be a lot easier for people to understand. And they've rolled the opportunities into CRM. And it's something that I think it just will make users more comfortable with it. People ask me for CRM, what are the CRM capabilities? And now you can kind of roll it into one place and see it all together. So that's really cool. I may or may not have actually suggested this on the SAP Ideas place. So I can maybe take a tiny bit of credit. Probably wasn't the only one, but my idea was on the Ideas place. Another CRM enhancement is sending activities to a group of people. So this is nice because you're like, well, how do I pick somebody out of this particular team? And now you can simply just send it to a team of people, like say, hey, I need a quote or some technical help. One of you guys help me, and now you can send it to everybody and not just one person. GL account determination matrix. Oh, this is very nice and very useful. You previously had to do, a lot of formatted search stuff and all sorts of wonky things. And now you can do all sorts of things, including your own UDFs. And you could do UDFs from the document row, the document header, the business partner, or the item. Okay, so that's going to open up your world. I think you could do up to 5. Yeah, it's going to change a lot of things. They have different criteria now, so that's going to be very nice and flexible. Guarantee. Very cool. Production routing. So, normally we're doing like discrete manufacturing. So it's like, here's a bag of bolts, you put them together and it's a thing. And so there's kind of like the process manufacturing people are left out. I would not say this is great for a very complex process manufacturer, but if you do a couple of different steps, even in your discrete manufacturing process, you can complete the step, issue from that step, move it to the next step, issue from that step, and so on and so forth. So it gives you like a little bit of a procedural routing kind of scenario. Whereas before it was one by one, it was all or none, and you could kind of mess around with that. But now it has also some capacity planning by routing as well, so that's cool. You cannot do overlays or any of the more advanced things you need to do with some of the manufacturing processes, but it's going to help a lot of different people to just work better with the production module out of the box. Units of measure. Oh, this one is sweet. This one is for my consultant homies out there. You have undoubtedly run into the unit of measure issue where if you want to use this unit of measure group setup, you have to define things by the lowest level. So say you want to define it by each, like maybe you normally store by case, sell by case, buy by case, but occasionally you want to sell by each. Now what you could do is define the unit of measure group to be base unit of each, but you can define the inventory unit of measure and the inventory counting unit of measure as different things. So you could do the base unit as each, and then you can do box or case as the inventory unit. So when you look in the inventory tab, it shows you like 20 cases, and you can sell it by case normally by default, but then you can drop it down to each and split it and sell it through to each. And that's really, really neat. So you could count in each, store in box, and then when you count, you just take the whole box and then you just multiply it by the number of units in the box. There's a lot of different things. So again, it's really neat. And you could do the pricing unit by a different unit. So you could ship in box, buy in box, but price by each, even though it's a lower level unit. So it's very flexible. And of course now the batches will select in the inventory unit of measure. So it'll match, in the document unit of measure, so it'll match the unit of measure there, not just the inventory unit of measure. So that's really handy too. So you don't have to do a bunch of math while you're on the shipping dock. Project management. Ooh, okay, they've improved this. This previously was a little bit suspect. Basic stuff. You still can't duplicate a project. This was one thing that I really wanted to see. With the duplication of a project, it would make it more useful. I have done a proof of concept with B1UP, and I can make a template using B1 usability package where you click a button, it'll recreate the project. So that's very useful. So again, B1UP kind of strikes again, and you can add a little button and say create standard project, or you could do a drop down box and just say, create these different projects and have a bunch of different templates to rebuild them. So that's a really good use of B1UP. Out of the box, you can't duplicate them, so you have to make them one at a time. I mean, if you want to repeat them, it's tough, right? So you need B1UP. Out of the box, if you're doing a couple of one-off little tracking projects or research and development, or you're doing a trade show or something weird like that you want to track more specifically, you can still mix the financial project codes with the project management module. You just track it more specifically. So when you have your stages and everything laid out, the project management module links to the financial projects coding. So you can just go and tag your AP invoices with that same financial project code. And when you go back to the project management module, to that project, it is going to prompt you to put those into the stages. And then it gives you a much more specific overview of exactly what's happening, the different processes and everything. So it's really being built out. It's not a replacement again for larger project management add-ons and stuff. It doesn't do subcontracting, etc., and all that stuff that certain people want. But for a lot of people, it's going to cover their, without any additional costs, it's going to cover a lot of the things they're asking for. So they now have this project overview thing, so you can see the different phases, you can see all the different sub-projects and everything, and they have a timesheet report, which actually starts to mix the timesheets together. Also on documents related to the projects, they're gonna have a checkbox that says, do you wanna bill it or not? Which leads me to the second thing where you can do billing document generation wizard. So this is amazing, where you can do a bunch of work for a project, and according to this, you can do milestone billing, which is really neat. But in addition to that, you can just do your time and materials type billing and rebill things automatically. So previously 9.2 was nice, you had it there, but it was not that useful because even if you added something that was a revenue side thing, you couldn't bill it. So it's now including a lot more options to do that, and it's really neat. Another thing is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart's there. That's very, very cool. From what I had seen, they do not have a global Gantt chart. So, you know, if you want to overlay this, it's tough. I'm going to suggest that on the SAP Ideas place. You can look me up there and on the SAP Ideas place if you are a partner or a consultant, and help me out with that. They should have a Gantt chart across all the open projects so you can see, compare, look at capacity and everything, and just see where everything's going to lie. But this is still good. It's still a big step up. It's not going to replace Microsoft Project, but it's going to do most of the things that you want to do. And I believe it has a little bit of relational connections, so you can, you know, make different connections between the stages and requirements. I don't think it's really that crazy, but you know, you're gonna have your basic critical path stuff, and obviously you can view percentage of completion, all that stuff. And now the one we've all been waiting for, RMAs, Return Material Agreements. This is a game changer, and in my opinion, it is going to be the thing that drives the majority of people into getting into 9.3. So right now, everybody takes some sort of return, and unless you're like in a retail space, people can just come back and return stuff. Now, if you're gonna send somebody an RMA, say, here, please send this back, here's where to send it, here's the policies and everything. Once they return it, you're gonna, when you make that RMA, you're gonna do a return request, and the return request does not process any inventory transactions. So as you know, doing a return will actually return the item back into stock, but you don't necessarily have that. So you are kind of forced to do it as a draft, and then when it arrives, you're gonna save it. But the thing is, or you wanna add it, the thing is, you don't always get the stuff back. So this allows you to report on things, do alerts, and understand when things are going to be sent back. It also has a reason for return and an action after the return. So that is really great for doing that, and it's both on the AR and the AP side. So huge reason to upgrade. In addition, I mean, if you're before 9.2, there's all the other stuff too. That you don't have any of the project management stuff. You don't have the browser access stuff. You don't have, there's a ton of other stuff that you're not going to have. In addition to that, obviously they add the return the request to the open items list, but for service calls, this one is really great because now you can do an RMA directly from the service call, and you better believe I'm going to be changing return request to say RMA, because a lot of people have this RMA and it's a hack. I've done my absolute best. Even with B1 up, it's still not great. And this is gonna just streamline everything and be really, really, really nice. So that's it for today. Those are the features of 9.3 that I'm most excited about. Get your PDF in the description below. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. If you're not a user of YouTube all the time, the notification bell will send you an email every time I do a video. And that's really cool because I don't have a schedule for my content yet, so it's kind of sporadic as I kind of think of ideas. I have a ton of ideas as I kind of finish videos, including a new SQL for SAP Business One course I'm working on right now, so you don't want to miss that. So turn that notification bell on. Check out my other videos. I have lots of other cool stuff on there. If you have any ideas or things you want me to cover, or just general questions, put the comments below. And again, check out supportme.battleshipcobra.com. battleshipcobra.com, And right on there, I've really simplified everything. Take my crystal reports for SAP Business One course. Try not to discount it. Thank you guys so much. You rock. Have a great day.